QB, Vail, Colorado.
Happy Thursday, November 30th. We are wrapping up the end of Native American Heritage Month. I've got Kevin Shields here in studio. I'm your host, Kimberly Pro. On this first hour, we'll be talking with Shop with a Cop, some things about Medicaid, as well as the conversation around the book Powder Days. So hour one of Good Morning Vail starts right now.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Well, good morning. Thank you for joining us today on Good Morning Vail. Thanks, Kim, for that show opening. A lot of great things that are going to take place today on the show. Some special guests coming in, as Kim pointed out, but some great things happening in our local weather. Let's take a look. Getting up today, 20 degrees, a high today of 38 degrees. Now, you see some snow flurries that are going to start later on this afternoon as that storm front moves in. Those winds are a little light, 5 to 10 miles an hour out of the west, so that pushes that precipitation our way nice and easy, and hopefully it'll hang around for a while. Looking at Vail by the hour, 37 degrees at noon, 35 at 4 p.m. this afternoon, and that's that perfect temperature for the snow begin to fall. So we're excited about that coming our way. I-70 corridor, partly cloudy, 42 in Denver, 38 in Vail, 39 in Avon, and Eagle showing 39 degrees this afternoon, all partly cloudy, as we hope that storm kind of comes our way and gives us a little more coverage on the mountain. Tonight, 19 degrees, snow, 60% chance. So we're going to see probably some of that snow come in maybe around that 4 o'clock hour. That sun setting a little earlier, but again, going to be a wonderful, wonderful evening, especially if we wake up tomorrow with some new, fresh powder on the ground. Looking at the 5-day, a lot of things happening. We see that snowfall coming in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 32 degrees on Friday. Those lows are, again, that's perfect snow weather. So that storm front moving in and that 70% chance of precipitation coming through the weekend, getting ready for a wonderful event that's coming our way up in Beaver Creek, that Birds of Prey men's downhill. So if you're not ready for ski season, get over there, because that will definitely amp you up with all the energy and everything taking place on the mountain. Beaver Creek snowfall. 0 really reported in the last 48 hours, 24 hours. Season total is 36 inches. Base depth 21. So a nice base to get started with as we move into the season. 6 lifts are open, 10 trails, 4% of the terrain there in Beaver Creek. Over in Vail, again, not much reported over the last 48 hours. 45 degrees or 45 inches is the season total, base depth of 23. And again, they've got 7 lifts turning, 35 trails open. 12% of the terrain is open there in Vail. So, you know, we're getting there. We're just finally starting to get there with some of the lifts opening. A lot of people excited. But like I pointed out, if you're not ready for ski season, if you're just going, I don't know, get over this weekend to the Birds of Prey, because that is exciting. Have you been part of that yet?
I haven't. I'm so excited. It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which means the buildup is over. We are ready to rock. I can't wait. I've heard the energy is just electric. There's such an international community there, and there's music, and there's food, and there's just fun.
Yeah, the pageantry, the excitement around it. Again, the speeds that these professionals travel going down, because you've got the downhill on the first, downhill on the second, and then Super G on the third. It is incredible, and you can see it on TV all you want, but when you're up close and personal, you actually realize what these athletes go through to get that from top to bottom.
Do you have a favorite day?
I like the Super G.
Okay.
Yeah, I really enjoy the Super G. Again, a lot of finesse, a lot of athleticism. that these athletes have to put into the G-forces that they're overcoming coming down the mountain.
Well, I can't wait to attend it. It's
Yeah.
going to be exciting. My very first Birds of Prey. So if you see me out there, say hello. Kevin, I expect to be there with you.
Yeah, we'll be there for sure.
We will be there. But we've got quite an exciting Thursday morning edition of the show. You'll be talking with some local law enforcement officials about some fun things that they have going on. So stay tuned. We've got a lot in this first hour. We'll be right back after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Lions Head Jewelers Fossil and Mineral Gallery. Located in the heart of Lions Head Village for over a decade, our 4,000 square foot gallery boasts a one-of-a-kind experience that cannot be found anywhere else in Vail. We carry the most exquisite array of fine jewelry, high-end minerals, and museum-quality fossils. We invite you to come in and explore all the history and beauty that nature has to offer.
Hi, it's Julio from TV8 Vail. Do you ever wonder why our tagline is "There's more for you on 92"? Because we're always bringing you more. More Good Morning Vail from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. all year long. More local coverage with Vail Vibes and Covered Bridge on TV8. More opportunities to participate with new roundtable panels on mountain perspectives and our new Spanish programming block coming this fall. Find us on Comcast Xfinity Channel 92, on YouTube, or our website at tv8vail.com.
Thank you for watching Good Morning Vail. Have an amazing day. Get on out there, soak up that sunshine. We'll see you tomorrow right here for more Good Morning Vail. Bye, everyone. Hi, I'm Gretchen Bleshaw. You might recognize me from the Glitz and Glam with Gretchen. Maybe you hear my voice on the radio from time to time or see me out at a concert or two. I love concerts. If you see me out, the long mermaid hair, I'm almost 6 foot tall. It's hard to miss. Come and say hi, give me a high five, and make sure to watch me right here on TV8.
Good morning, Vail.
Are those the Solomon ones?
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. I was joking just a minute ago about how I've never felt safer in my life, having all the police officers here around me, the wonderful people that help serve and protect here in our beautiful community. Now, my favorite time of the year, 'tis the season, and to shop with a cop. It just seems like the other day that we were talking on the couch about shopping with a cop, but let's get into it a little more and talk about what is shopping with a cop.
So we take elementary age kids shopping at Walmart. All the agencies that you see here, plus State Patrol, and every fire agency joins us to make a difference for our elementary age kids kids. Just give them that extra bond with first responders. We take them shopping, and they can shop for themselves or family members, and then each agency goes to a separate location, and we wrap presents with them and feed them, sugar them up, and send them home.
The best way to do it, once you get them all sugared up.
Yep.
Now, how do you come about? Are you assigned to kids? Is it kind of is there a list that goes on and it's adopted by area, or how does that work?
So each agency does it a little bit different. So us at the Sheriff's Office, we have 10 elementary schools. So I give the schools 5 kids to pick. The schools pick the children based on whatever their criteria would be, whether it be the loss of a friend of theirs, a family member, straight A student, someone who needs that extra bit with a first responder, or just that extra boost in life. And then I'll let these guys tell you how they pick their kids.
All right.
For Avon, it's nominated by the teachers. It's given to Principal Harrison at Avon Elementary School, and then she provides it to us for the kids that are nominated by the teachers.
Nice.
Yeah, and for Eagle, we have 2 elementary schools, and I also leave it up to counselors and principals to choose which kids they would like to participate in the program for the same reasons that Lisa already mentioned, like really good students or kids that just kind of need that little encouragement to be out there, new people to the community, all sorts of different factors.
Right.
And then for Vail, we go to Red Sandstone Elementary School, notify the teachers to select about 30 students, and the ones that need an extra boost this coming holidays, and that would be very beneficial to build that gap between law enforcement and the community.
Yep.
I'm also with Vail, and
Okay.
We've been working hard. Everyone's been working really hard this season to put all this together.
Yeah.
We're excited for Tuesday.
That'll be a lot of fun. And again, Lisa, you pointed out, and everybody mentioned the bond between law enforcement and the community, which is so important as kids develop and they start learning more about how the operations work and what all you do. I mean, you may get some future law enforcement candidates out of this.
Well, so Moses Gonzalez started this 21 years ago with Vail PD. And I think it's 21st year.
21st.
The Sheriff's Office is in our 9th year of doing this, and we don't repeat any same students, so it's a new opportunity for every kid every year. And honestly, we could not do this without our sponsors. We want to actually thank all our sponsors for this.
So let's talk about that a little bit more. So obviously this is a significant expense along with the bonding that takes place. So where does that money? Is it donated? Are there fundraisers? Can people donate?
So they can donate, and I think you guys have all our information of our contact information. The money goes to the kids and also for any additional expenses that we have with it for supplies and things like that. Vail goes to the Four Seasons afterwards. I'm not sure where Avon's going this year.
Weston.
Okay.
Weston for Avon, and Eagle and us go up to Four Eagle Ranch.
Oh, nice.
So a lot of that's donated, and again, the donations that come in from our sponsors go to pay for the money for the kids to shop.
Great, great. So any of our viewers that want to tune in, go to our website, find out some of that information. You can help donate and make something special for a child or a family.
But speaking of shopping, you either don't want to be at Walmart between 3 and 5 on the 5th, or you absolutely want to be at Walmart between 3 and 5 on the 5th and just watch. It's absolutely truly amazing to watch these kids and the first responders go out, and I mean, I've had people come in and be like, what's going on? And when you tell them what's going on, they're like, wow, this is really cool. And I've had people give us money at the registers. I have
Wow.
one kid who participated many moons ago, and he's a senior in high school, and he still remembers the experience.
Wow.
Jose's got a really cool story about one of the kids that he shopped with one year too.
So about a few years ago, I had this student with me. I told him, here's $100, go shopping for you and your family. Loads the cart up, and he had about $20 left. I'm like, awesome, you got $20 left. What do you want to get for yourself? He purchased everything for his family. He's like, I don't want anything for myself. I want my family to receive these gifts because we're going through a hard time, and it's just an emotional connection that you get to hear these stories from these students that they're going through. But I mean, it was just a remarkable story that I had to hear.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those things that just probably melts your heart, and that's why you do it.
Yes.
So wonderful. And how long have each one of you been on the force?
16 years.
Okay,
And I've been with Eagle for 7 years.
right.
27 years.
Lisa, 27 years, awesome.
6 years.
Okay.
And 11 years for myself.
11 years. Nice, nice. Yeah, my son is in Las Vegas and just joined the police force there. Went through all of his training and is getting ready to be turned loose on his own. So excited about that.
Nice.
Yeah. But again, thank you for everything you do, obviously in the community with your regular roles, but then the expansion and going above and beyond to help those in need and create the memories and set the foundations, because it sounds like it is the time of giving, and when you get with these children and they give to their families and they give back, I think it's going to just pay dividends down the road. So again, we appreciate everything you're doing. Keep it up, and thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, and thank you for all our sponsors for making it possible.
Thank you. We'll be back soon with more Good Morning Vail.
Good morning, Vail.
My name is Tyler Alvarez. I work here at Sweet Basil in Vail. I'm a bartender here. I originally came to Vail to snowboard. I slept on my sister and my cousin's couch for what was supposed to be a week, turned into 2 months, and then I found my own spot, and then kind of made friends and worked different places in the valley, and kind of just fell in love with it more and more every single day, and ended up finding my way to Sweet Basil through some friends who worked here and all the great things that I heard about it. And yeah, I've been here for 4 years now. It's hard to wake up in Vail and be upset when you look outside. It's just beautiful. My favorite part about working at Sweet Basil is definitely that I could be proud about everything that we're putting out, whether it's food, drinks. We also get to be really creative here. The bartenders, the whole team here, we workshop our menus every season, so we'll start with a spirit or an ingredient, and then we get to be really creative and make a whole project of it. And then when we get the final product, it's a drink that we're all really proud of for the whole menu, and that's super fun, just being able to be creative and work with new things. And the most fun cocktails to make, though, are definitely the ones that we get to create from scratch. When people take a sip and say, oh my God, this is delicious, or they just love it. And that's probably the most fun for me, the creativity behind it and making unique cocktails. That, for me, that would be the most fun drink to make, just the one that you start from scratch and then people are excited about. I'm Tyler, I live and work in Vail. Come see me at Sweet Basil.
Nap Harvest, your local marketplace for fresh, locally produced products. Our indoor farmers market is open 7 days a week, featuring locally grown organic produce, prepared meals, honey from our Nap Nectar hive, furniture, cutting boards, and much more. We source and sell locally grown and produced products from the Vail and Roaring Fork Valleys. Visit us at our new location in Eagle Ranch, 717 Sylvan Lake Road, next door to Color Coffee Roasters.
America was built on a love for the outdoors. We are a nation of sportsmen, blessed with magnificent natural resources. With broad interests across water and field, we are united in our devotion to nature and conservation. Join us every week for the best shows celebrating the outdoor lifestyle. Outdoor America. Live free.
Good morning, Vail.
It's the end of November and we are rolling into December. And what that typically means is open enrollment. Joining me today to talk about how you can be aware of this with Medicare and Medicaid, as well as upcoming changes into the program and how to compare costs, is Dr. Mina Seishamane, who is the director of the Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services. How are you?
I'm doing well, Kim. Thanks for having me.
Well, so this is a very important time of year, especially for the 65 million Americans that are enrolled in the Medicare and Medicaid program. So why is open enrollment so important?
Yes, open enrollment is very important for people in the Medicare program, and that's people who are age 65 and older, people with disabilities, and people with end-stage kidney disease. Because it's important to look at your options to see what works best for your health needs and your financial situation. You know, people's health needs change every year and their finances change every year. And the options available also change every year, including some very important changes to the Medicare program that I hope we'll talk about. So it is very important for people to take this opportunity to see what option works best for them, because there may be something that can keep them healthier and help them to save money.
Absolutely. It's very important to know that things change. You don't necessarily have to stay with the same plan year after year. So you briefly mentioned who participates, but can you give us a little more detail around that?
Yes. So the Medicare program is for people, is for roughly 65 million people in this country, people age 65 and older, people with disabilities, and people with end-stage kidney disease. And we know that a lot of people in this cohort have health needs, have financial considerations. So that's why it is so important to go to Medicare.gov or to call us at 1-800-MEDICARE to be able to go to the official source to figure out what option works best for them.
Well, you have such an important job. So talk to us about the new Medicare programs that are coming out.
I'm very excited for the changes in the Medicare program because as a physician, I know how life-changing they are. Number one, right now, people in Medicare in the prescription drug program do not have to pay more than $35 a month for a covered insulin, which is huge. Number two, right now, people in Medicare do not pay anything out of their own pocket to get a recommended vaccine, like shingles or RSV or tetanus. And starting in 2024, January 1st, 2024, thanks to the new drug law, we are expanding eligibility for financial assistance. We estimate that there are 3 million people eligible for financial assistance for prescription drug costs who are not enrolled. So it is so important during this open enrollment period. If you're having trouble paying your prescription drug costs, go to Medicare.gov or call us at 1-800-MEDICARE to see if you're eligible. And the last big change coming January 1st, 2024, again, all of this is thanks to the new drug law, is that for people who take high cost prescription drugs, when they enter what's called a catastrophic phase of their prescription drug benefit, they no longer pay anything out of pocket. So that's why it's so important for people to learn about these changes and to see how it can benefit them.
That's really incredible, and I love the new drug law can help people pay for their prescription drugs if they are not enrolled in the program. So, you know, speaking of the program, there are many options out there. How do you know what to do, and how can you compare all of the options?
Yeah, so I'm sure that many of you have seen the TV ads, etc. It is important to remember that Medicare.gov and 1-800-MEDICARE are the official sources of information on options in the Medicare program. If you go to Medicare.gov, you can click Get Started with Medicare, and it explains the basics of the Medicare program. There's traditional Medicare, which is through the government, where you can see any healthcare provider in the country who participates in the Medicare program. That's roughly 98% of healthcare providers. Medicare Advantage is where Medicare partners with a private health plan. So you have to use a healthcare provider that contracts with that health plan, is in the network of that health plan. And you could get some additional benefits like dental, hearing, or vision. From there, you can go to Plan Finder in the Medicare.gov website, and you can input your specific healthcare information to get a personalized side-by-side comparison of different options to see what works best for you. And if you need additional information and help, you can always call us at 1-800-MEDICARE. We are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to help you to navigate your choices to pick what works best for you.
Oh, there are so many options, and it's wonderful that you can tailor and find the best program that works. So speaking of open enrollment, when does it end? Tell me all about it, and what happens if we miss the deadline?
Yes, it is important to act now because open enrollment ends on December 7th. If you miss the deadline of December 7th, you will have to wait until the following year open enrollment to see if there could be an option that's better for you, which means that you might miss out on an option that could keep you healthier and help you save money. So that is why it is so important that we are talking about this so that everybody can go and pick what works best for them.
So traditional Medicare open enrollment ends December 7th, and we talked about the new drug law. So where can we go to find more information about comparing those drug costs?
You can go to Medicare.gov. You can call us at 1-800-MEDICARE. And if you want more personalized local help in navigating your options, you can go to your state health insurance program. If you go to shiphelp.org, that's SHIP as in Peter, help.org, you can get a list of community counselors in your area who are available to walk you through your options and talk with you about your healthcare costs. So that is also another very important resource for people.
Oh, Dr. Mina, one more time. If we don't know where to start or how to change things, where do we go for more information? And if you wouldn't mind telling us the phone number one more time as well.
Yes, Medicare.gov and 1-800-MEDICARE. We are here to help you.
Well, thank you so much for sharing the information, for spreading the word, getting on here and telling people that it is not difficult and you are there to guide. We appreciate all that you're doing to provide Medicaid and Medicare services to the Americans that need it here. We appreciate you.
Thank you again for having me and for your help in getting the word out.
Absolutely. Now, December 7th, open enrollment ends. So if you are using a Medicare or Medicaid plan, please get onto the website, look and see if there are any changes that you need, and then you will be good to go and covered for next year. Now, stay tuned. We've got a bit more here in this first hour of Good Morning Vail. We'll be right back after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
Familia, estamos muy emocionados de por fin presentarles nuestro nuevo programa completamente en español, Conexión Latina, que se estrena este lunes 21 de agosto a partir de las 7 de la tarde. Por el momento, el programa se transmitirá los lunes, miércoles y viernes de 7 a 7 y media de la tarde, con una repetición de 7 y media a 8, así que no hay excusas para perdértelo. Te recuerdo que puedes sintonizar nuestra programación a través del canal 92 de Comcast, nuestra página web tva8vail.com y nuestra página de Facebook TV8 Conexión Latina. Acompáñanos en esta nueva aventura llena de información y entretenimiento local. No te lo pierdas.
Well, Archer and I are going to get headed on further down the trail, but I hope you'll catch up with us a little bit later. Hi, I'm Ben Roof, and I'm one of the new hosts here at TV8. I'm so excited to share all of my explorations throughout the Vail Valley with my dog Archer, where we'll be taking you to hiking trails, biking trails, maybe we'll go rafting, fishing, or whatever else we can come up with. I'm so excited to share all of that with you in my new segment, Outdoor Adventures. Don't forget to catch up with us every day right here at TV8 Vail or at tv8vail.com, because there's always more for you on 92.
Do you have an interesting hobby or skill you'd like to share for Vail Valley? We want to hear from you. We're looking for people to share their musical, artistic, culinary, woodworking, athletic, or technical talents on Good Morning Vail. If you'd like to share your talents with the community, email Danielle at tv8vail.com. Join the community conversation. There's more for you on 92.
Experience the magic of the season like never before with the Leadville Railroad on our Holiday Express. Gather the family for an enchanting journey filled with dazzling displays of twinkling lights and festive decorations. Create cherished memories that will last a lifetime on this unforgettable train adventure that captures the spirit of the holidays. Booking information at leadvillerailroad.com.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Let's take a look outside at that local weather. Getting up today, 20 degrees, a high today of 38 degrees. Yes, we're looking at some snow showers starting to move our way. Those light winds out of the west, 5 to 10 miles per hour, is pushing a nice little front that hopefully is going to sit with us throughout that weekend. Now, looking at Vail by the hour, things are going to start to warm up around that noon hour and then start to cool off again around that 3 to 4 when we're expecting to see some of that snowfall come our way. On the I-70 corridor, partly cloudy all the way through that I-70 corridor. Mild temperatures, 42 in Denver, 38 in Vail, and then 39 Avon, 39 in Eagle. So those mild temperatures are perfect for that snowfall to kind of come our way and hopefully add some more inches to that base that we're already building up there on the mountain. Low tonight, 19 degrees, a 60% chance of precipitation. So no stargazing this evening as those snow clouds start to move in and set themselves in place for that weekend that's about to come our way. Now, looking at the 5-day, very exciting to see Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 70% chance of precipitation. Again, those mild temperatures between 32 and 33 degrees throughout the weekend to add some ambiance to that Birds of Prey championship that's taking part up in Beaver Creek. And then leading into Monday and Tuesday, those clouds start to dissipate a little bit. Those temperatures are still, again, mild, 42, 44 degrees, so a great day to get out on the mountain and enjoy some of that new snowfall that's come our way. Looking at the Beaver Creek snow report, nothing reported in the last 48 hours. That season total is at 36 inches, base depth of 21 inches out there on the mountain. Of course, getting ready for the Birds of Prey over there on that one side of the mountain where the Birds of Prey run is located. 10 trails open, 6 lifts are turning. Only 4% of the terrain is open right now. But again, as we see some of that snowfall come our way, I'm sure that will inch up as the season moves on. Over in Vail, nothing reported in the last 48 hours, 45-inch season total, 23-inch base. And again, 12% of the terrain open over there in Vail, 7 lifts are turning, and 35 trails are open. So make sure you get out there, enjoy some of the wonderful things that are coming our way this weekend with some of that new snowfall. Now, there's a great book out there called Powder Days. It talks about ski bums, ski towns, and the future of kind of chasing that snow. So we've got a veteran ski journalist, Heather Hansman, who takes readers on a wonderful journey on her upbringing. She was a former ski bum, so she wrote a book on this. Let's hear from her.
And I am so humbled today to have our special guest, Heather Hansman from Powder Days, the book. And before we get into the specifics of all these questions I want to ask you about the book, I want our viewers to know a little bit about you. You've spent quite a bit of time in the Vail Valley. What brought you here? What makes you keep coming back to Good Day Vail Just tell us a little bit about yourself in the Vail Valley.
Sure. Thanks for having me. I actually moved to the Vail Valley, to Avon in particular, when I was 21. I was fresh out of college. I had on the East Coast. And I had this idea that I wanted to live in a ski town that was pretty loose and unformed. And a guy that I didn't know that well, that I worked with during the summers, happened to work guest services at Beaver Creek. And so he said he could give me a job. And so two of my best girlfriends from college and I, sight unseen, drove our cars from Massachusetts to Avon and got jobs working at Beaver Creek and lived in the Tarns and kind of started my sort of journey as a real skier and a person in the ski town kind of started here. So it's really fun to be back.
Do you mind if I ask what year that was that you came out here?
2005, 2006.
Okay,
That is
so
me dating myself.
Yeah, so it's about half the age of Beaver Creek. So you were right in the midst of when Beaver Creek was really starting to grow. And you say the Tarns too, and I'm sure the Tarns had been around for a few years as part of employee housing. Is that correct?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty weathered by that point.
Yeah, pretty weathered. As you and I were talking, you had mentioned that you started as in guest services, and you started as a ticket scanner, but you also wore a yellow coat for a period of time. So tell us a little bit about what that was like on the mountain as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know that Yellow Jackets get a little bit of flack for their jobs, but it was a really fun job to have because all we had to do was ski. And the year that I was there, they had just started the program, and we had a radar gun that we could play with.
A radar gun?
So
You're kidding me.
And I'm sure it was supposed to be to monitor other people's speeds, but we would just take it out and time each other. So that was a really fun time of my life.
Well, tell us, what did you top out at? You don't feel like you have to.
I don't think I can remember. It wasn't that fast.
Well, as a current ski instructor, I am so grateful to have Yellow Jackets on the mountain, and I'm very happy, actually, that there was a consideration for radar guns. I haven't seen any, don't even know if they have them, but thank you for doing your job back then. But that was clearly the beginning of your thoughts around this fabulous book called Powder Days that you just released last year. Tell us a little bit about what got you inspired to write this.
Yeah. So like I said, I moved here kind of right out of college. I ping-ponged around a couple other ski towns, and then I went to journalism school in Boulder. And when I did that, when I kind of moved down to the city and got a real job, I was really thinking about my friends who are still here and who are still in ski towns and were kind of living the dream, the quote-unquote dream. And I watched them kind of grow up and have kids and kind of establish careers and lives in these towns. And there's something really beautiful about it, but there's also some really, really hard parts to the ski bum dream that I think don't always get talked about, whether that's, economic instability or what's happening with the climate. And so that idea of living the dream and what that dream could be and what made it complicated was just something that I was really fascinated by in my own life. I kind of had this, sliding doors fear that maybe I had missed out on something. And as a journalist, it felt like this really interesting question to dig into. Can you be a ski bum? Could you ever? And where did the idea come from?
And the interesting thing about a ski bum is that not only are they skiing themselves, but they're providing a service for the community, for their own livelihood. So, what are some of the jobs that these ski bums hold or held?
Yeah, I think that a town like Vail, like this valley, like a lot of these Colorado mountain towns are really dependent on the service industry, on the people who work on the mountain, on the people who work in the restaurants and the lodging and the, healthcare services. And I think that when you're somebody who's living in, and I think this is kind of more true 15 years ago before so many people could work remotely, but if you're going to commit to living in this town, you're really a part of this service economy that makes the towns flow.
And so what were some of the key findings that you had as it relates to individuals trying to make a living here in these services that actually benefit all of the viewers of this show?
Yeah.
What are some of those findings that you had?
Yeah, it's a tricky question. And I guess for a little background, to do the research and the reporting for the show, for the book rather, I did basically a big road trip, which was really great. I did a big loop around the western U.S. and popped into all these ski towns to kind of look at what the reality of hardcore skiers looked like.
Would you mind naming a few of those as well?
Sure,
those
yeah.
Areas that you went?
I started in Montana. I went through Big Sky and down into Wyoming to Jackson to Sun Valley. Did a loop through Utah, came through the Vail Valley, Summit County, spent a chunk of time in Aspen. So it was like really a big kind of western U.S. I spent a little bit of time on the East Coast too. And in those places, every town has its own identity and its own kind of things it's dealing with. But in a lot of those places, housing was really top of the pile, kind of whether local wages could keep up with affordability, and kind of what the sustainability was of the local community. And as skiing gets more expensive, as real estate gets more expensive, we're in a time of inflation right now. So there's a lot of pressures on, the people who, A, love the sport that we all love, and B, are really supporting the towns that we live in.
And it's interesting you using the word sustainability, because in the context of what you just said, it was about sustaining the ski bum and those that service the community. But after reading the book, you also found out some other interesting environmental issues as it relates to sustainability as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, sustainability as a word applies across the board, I think. And we don't have, even if you take apart the community and the economy and all that, skiing doesn't exist if we don't have snow. So at the most base level, we need to be thinking about protecting the climate. We need to think about carbon reduction if we want skiing as a sport and these places that we live to exist even 10, 15, 20 years in the future. I mean, you look at this winter across the country and it's been really variable, California to New England. And I think that's not changing in a positive direction anytime soon.
Well, and I would imagine that some of our viewers don't really know the differences of what we've been seeing with climate, or I should just say the snow in those areas. Could you just tell the viewers, the variability that you've been following in these different areas?
Oh yeah, I mean the Sierras has their biggest snowpack in years, and my parents, for instance, live in New Hampshire, and it's been 50 degrees and raining there, so you get kind of the full spectrum of weather. I mean, and climate and weather are not the same thing, but they're very connected.
And which we'll get into shortly, because if we don't have snow, there is no skiing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about the response to the book. What have been the emotions of those readers that you've had a chance to spend time with?
Yeah, it's really, writing a book is so interesting because it happens in your brain and in your computer, and then all of a sudden it's out in the world for people. And for the most part, it's been really positive, and it's been really cool to hear from people who have read it and maybe connected with their personal experience or what they'd wanted to do. There has been I think this is kind of like the tricky thing that skiing as a sport is dealing with right now, but there has been some blowback into the fact that I talked about race and identity and economic inequality, and I think that makes some people really uncomfortable, even though that, who gets to be a skier, who can afford to be a skier, who's welcome in a ski town, I think is some of the most important things that we're thinking about in skiing right now. So tensions are high around some of those tricky social issues.
Well, those social issues are at the forefront of everyone's minds these days, but people are so afraid to talk about them. I enjoy seeing what Eagle County is trying to do in some of those areas. Vail Resorts is always looking for ways to try and tell us about how they're trying to help the community. But one of the things that strikes me is that there's the minorities are really growing as a huge part of the population here. And what I see from your book, and if we look at the ski bum as being the person that's servicing us, and they could be minorities in some instances, we've really got to spend time helping them figure out how to live life here with all of us and feeling comfortable about it.
Yeah, absolutely. If skiing doesn't reflect what our community actually looks like and what the country actually looks like, then the sport is going to die. I think making it open and inclusive and welcoming and accessible is one of the most, if we want, skiing as a sport and as an economy and the archetype of the ski bum to live on, we really need to open the doors and make sure that it's something that's accessible to not just the kind of easy traditional image of the ski bum, which is a, privileged white man.
Yeah.
So I think that we really have to work on opening the doors.
So hold that thought, the privileged white man and the future of skiing. So
Good morning, Vail.
Nap Harvest, your local marketplace for fresh, locally produced products. Our indoor farmers market is open 7 days a week, featuring locally grown organic produce, prepared meals, honey from our Nap Nectar hive, furniture, cutting boards, and much more. We source and sell locally grown and produced products from the Vail and Roaring Fork Valleys. Visit us at our new location in Eagle Ranch, 717 Sylvan Lake Road, next door to Color Coffee Roasters.
Experience the magic of the season like never before with the Leadville Railroad on our Holiday Express. Gather the family for an enchanting journey filled with dazzling displays of twinkling lights and festive decorations. Create cherished memories that will last a lifetime on this unforgettable train adventure that captures the spirit of the holidays. Booking information at leadvillerailroad.com.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. That was a great segment, learning more about kind of the history of ski bums, ski towns, and that never-ending chase for powder and snow to ski in with Heather Hansman. Let's look at the second segment of that interview and learn a little bit more about Heather and kind of how she got integrated into this book that she had written.
The Powder Days episode. I'm thrilled to have Heather Hansman here, the author of the book Powder Days. And when we left our last segment, we were talking about some of her findings as it relates to the emotions that her readers have provoked. And we talked about some of the negative emotions, which we'll get to in a second, but let's talk about some of those positive emotions that readers came to you and say, my God, this is such a great thing. I've learned so much from you. What are some of those things?
Yeah, I think part of what I've heard is that there hadn't necessarily been a book like this before that kind of encompassed what it meant to be a skier, that wasn't just a profile of Warren Miller or Lindsey Vonn or somebody who was like a, celebrity, and it's just kind of like a normal person story. And I think that...
And I have to say, and thank you for bringing that up, because it really is a normal person story, and I could relate to it so much, and I learned so much. So I didn't mean to interrupt, but it is a normal person story, so thank you for saying that.
And I think that, for me, I thought, I spent 4 years thinking about this book, and one of the things I've thought about a lot is why skiing is important, and if it is important, in the grand scheme of things. And I think, what I settled on for me, and what I think that has come up for a lot of people, is that, skiing is something that I do just for joy, just for fun. There's no social pressure. There's no, if I go to ride my bike, sometimes it's for exercise, but skiing is just for joy. And I think that's a really important thing that we maybe don't get in a lot of places. And so I think that's kind of resonated for some people too, that we need to prioritize being outside and being in community.
And I'm happy that you're saying being outside too, because there's probably a lot of viewers that don't necessarily ski anymore, or at least downhill ski. And that's what the book resonated for me. It's not just about skiing, but it's how you can apply it to the mountains and what that brings to us here living in the valley. I mean, we are looking for that joy.
Yeah, and there's some really interesting, one of the things that, a book can kind of become a wormhole, it goes all these different ways, but one of the things that I ended up being a bigger piece of the book than I thought was sort of the mental health aspects of skiing and of recreating, and why that feels important to people, and why certain people are maybe more drawn to, move to Vail or push their bodies. But I think it's really important for our physical and mental health to be outside and be active and be in the environment. So I think there are, sometimes it can feel like, I know for me when I was younger, being a ski bum felt a little bit self-indulgent, but there are some real, physical, biological reasons why it's important for us to do this.
Yeah, and you mentioned the book that sometimes when people do move to the mountains, it's to escape maybe a previous life or previous challenges that they have. And I bring that up because I am very proud of what I'm seeing here in the Valley with Eagle Valley Behavioral Health and others really tackling mental health head on because of some of the devastating things that we've seen here. And you mentioned a few of those in the book. So I'm really happy that you brought that up because our viewers need to recognize that this is something that we do need to talk about, we do need to embrace. And matter of fact, I think when we were preparing, I mentioned to you, I was at a restaurant in Avon the other day that they even have a mental health tax in your chit at restaurants now, where we can provide an extra tip, so to speak, or a tax that can be donated towards mental health issues here in the Valley. So thank you for bringing it to the forefront, and thank you for making it a topic that we can talk about.
Yeah, I think it's incredibly important to talk about. A lot of, across the Mountain West, a lot of ski towns have incredibly high, disproportionately high suicide rates. There's a lot of people who are struggling. And I think sometimes the culture around skiing and outdoor sports is that, everything is awesome. You're having the best day ever. And when that's not true, I think it can be really hard. So I think it's really crucial to be talking about this stuff and kind of opening doors.
And you bring up culture. So, and you speak a lot about culture in the book. And all of those resort towns that you had mentioned, a lot of them have a lot of consolidation going on, which really reshapes the future culture. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts about the shifts you're seeing in ski resort town cultures.
Sure. Yeah, I think, one of the questions and one of the hard parts at the heart of this book is that I think it is becoming harder to make a living as a worker in a ski town. Things are getting more expensive. We have more short-term rentals and second homes. We have people moving in from outside. And I think that if we want these towns to retain their culture and to have a sense of community and a sense of liveliness and also just, people working and thriving in these places, we really need to think about from a community standpoint, from a government standpoint, what it means to kind of hold on to that culture and how do we support, whether it's housing, whether it's transportation, whether it's education, how do we support the people who are in these towns who make the towns work? Because otherwise they kind of become empty shells.
Yeah. Well, and thank you for bringing up government, because one of the things that I've been following is that the town of Vail has a new strategic plan where I believe it's called the Vail Steward Plan, and they have these 5 pillars to evaluate, not just evaluate, but to be able to make sure they do enough research in certain aspects of the town in order to protect the culture, in order to create the best world-class experience. I can't remember all of them, but it is called the Vail Steward Plan. As a matter of fact, I think it's being reviewed at the end of this month, and whereby they'll put resources again. My point being is that there is a part about the culture, and I see it shifting just in the few years I've been here. And my fear is that the more consolidation that happens, more big enterprise comes in, that the shifting culture is not necessarily a good thing for these resorts. So I wanted to highlight that as a piece to our viewers and to yourself.
Yeah, I think it's a really real fear, and it's not coming from nowhere. And I think that point about know what's going on in your local government. One of the things that I've that's really stuck with me in the book research and thinking about it. Autumn Chandler, who's the head of sustainability at Aspen, and I apologize for talking about Aspen.
Oh, that's okay. That's we all learn from each other.
He's somebody who thinks a lot about community development and sustainability and whatever capacity that might be. And he said something to me where he's like, the problem with the idea of the ski bum and historically is that it's anti-citizenship. And you have this idea that like you're sneaking by under the radar and you don't have to pay for things and like you're kind of sticking it to the man. But if you think like that and act like that, then the world will change around you and maybe not for the way that you want it. So I think that idea of like being an engaged citizen in the community that you live in is crucial right now, especially as we see kind of big forces changing the towns that we live in.
Yeah, I mean, what you're telling me is that it's not just the ski bum that the government official was referring to. It really is around the community. And if we're going to live here, and I know just from my own experiences that the demographics here are shifting and there's more people spending a lot more time here, we need to be a citizen, and we need to, forget what we know from where else we may have come from, forget those beliefs, and really jump in and be a part of the community. So, wow, it's an interesting thought. Let me touch upon one more topic that I know is very near and dear to your heart, and that's around the climate action and the various things that you see or you think we should be doing more of in these mountain towns.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts around
Yeah,
that?
I mean, I think like we were just talking about with weather, like this is the most base issue for the future of skiing. I think, are we going to have winter? And I think there's so many levers that we can push on. I mean, that local government and you know, industry in where we live is a huge one. You know, the outdoor industry is a huge economic developer. We have this huge, you know, incredible amount of power that we could leverage in the government that I think isn't being done as much. So I think pushing big businesses to move away from carbon, looking at our elected officials and passing policy to move away from fossil fuels. I think that we have these kind of levers that we can push in towns like Vail that are really important.
Well, and I know Vail Resorts has their net zero program, and you know their deadlines are 2030, and it'll be interesting this year. I'm going to do some research on this to see how they're faring against that, especially since COVID. But I think it's really important that we all understand what government's trying to do, nonprofits are trying to do, what the big businesses are trying to do, and fall in line with our own daily behaviors.
Yeah,
to
and as
make
a
that
citizen,
happen.
you get to put pressure on, you
That's
know,
right.
the businesses that you use in your local government. So I think it can be easy to feel overwhelmed and disempowered by climate change because it's so humongous. But like we have levers that we can push.
Yeah, one baby step at a time.
Sure.
So with that, if you had any thoughts you wanted to leave our viewers, if there was one or two things or a behavior change, what is it that you'd like our viewers to take away from this episode?
I mean, I think that idea about finding joy and fun is really important. And I think also that being an engaged citizen in the place that you live. And, you know, if you want a town like Vail or like Avon or Edwards to, you know, continue to be interesting and thriving and full of community, like that's on you.
Well, I love that because my favorite quote in the world is by Gandhi, be the change that you want to see in this world. And so I ask all of you to run to the Bookworm and buy Powder Days. I know it's there on the shelves. That's where I got my signed autographed copy when Heather was in last year for book signing. So thank you all for joining us.
Good morning, Vail.
Eyepieces of Vail has been a fixture in the Vail community for over 30 years. From designer frames and sunglasses to high-performance sports frames, prescription goggles, and in-demand accessories like helmets, goggle lenses, and foldable reading glasses, our inventory raises the optical bar. Visit one of our 7 locations today and see why generations of loyal customers return time after time for our unmatched service and inventory. Eyepieces, the art of vision.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
At Revival Boutique Med Spa, we take an integrative and holistic approach to skincare, focusing on the bigger picture when treating our clients. We use only result-driven and science-based products that contain clean, organic, wildcrafted, and research-based ingredients. From injectables, facials, to body contouring, we offer anything related to looking your best self. Find us in the Riverwalk in Edwards. For a complete list of services, visit us online at revivalvail.com. Follow us on Instagram at Revival Vail Valley. Fall in love with your skin again. There's lots to love at Revival. Mind, body, beauty.
When people think of world-class destinations, they're drawn to a place that provides opportunities for fine dining, shopping, superior lodging, exciting events, and unparalleled outdoor activities. Park City, Utah, and Vail, Colorado are renowned destinations for travelers and extraordinary homes for residents. Feature your exceptional products and services in these two luxury communities. Advertise with Park City Television and TV8 Vail. Contact us today.
Do you love the outdoor lifestyle? Make sure you tune in every day at 8 p.m. to catch Scoreboard Nation. It's an outdoor lifestyle show dedicated to your three favorite mountain towns, Vail, Beaver Creek, Park City, and Reno, Tahoe. Join us for an incredible venture. Find us on TV8 Vail, Park City Television, or at thescoreboardnation.com. We can't wait to see you there.
You're watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Happy Thursday. It's November 30th. We are wrapping up the end of Native American Heritage Month. I'm very excited because Kevin and I will be in the kitchen making the famous Three Sisters soup. I can't wait to tell you more about the history and the heritage behind it. Plus, we'll be chatting about Eyepieces of Vail, the latest goggles that they have in stock, just a small collection. And then on top of that, talking to the star of the new Hulu series, Black Cake, based off the best-selling novel. So very excited about this second hour. Kevin Shields joining me in studio. I'm your host, Kimberly Pro. Hour 2 of Good Morning Vail starts right now.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us. And Kim, great show we're going to have for you today. The best segment that I know you'll want to stick around for is in the TV8 Bar and Grill kitchen, as we make a Three Sisters soup. So if you don't know about Three Sisters soup, stay tuned, because we're definitely going to show you what's happening over there in the TV8 Bar and Grill kitchen. Now, looking ahead at the weather, today getting up 8 a.m., 20 degrees, a high today of 38 degrees, so nice mild temperatures, some low winds moving in from the west, 5 to 10 miles an hour. That's bringing in a nice little storm front. So we're expecting to see a little bit of snowfall probably after 4 o'clock today. So that partial sun will go away. Those clouds are going to roll in, and we're going to see some snowfall and start hopefully what we're going to see throughout the weekend to celebrate some of that birds of prey going on up on the hill. Looking at the I-70 corridor, 42 degrees and cloudy in Denver. 38 in Vail, 39 in Avon, and 39 over in Eagle as that storm continues to kind of come our way. Now, looking at tonight, 19 degrees is going to be the low, so still fairly mild compared to some of the temperatures that we've seen over the last few days. A 60% chance of snowfall coming in, so we're going to see that snow continue to roll in that 4:42 p.m. sun setting. So sun goes down and the snow clouds will roll in. Hopefully tomorrow morning we wake up to a nice blanket of fresh snow. Now, looking at the 5-day, this is very exciting. Looking at Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, again, those mild temperatures, 30 to 33 degrees. We've got 42, 44, mostly sunny. A lot of things going on in that weather forecast as we get ready to hopefully get some of those slopes open and some things happening. Now, looking over at the report for what's going on up in Beaver Creek, we've got nothing really reported in the last 48 hours. A lot of things going on. A few of the lifts are turning, some things happening up on the mountain, but still trying to get some more of that terrain moving forward. Looking over, again, 10 trails open, 6 lifts, 4% of the terrain open. A lot of that mountain operations, again, focused up in Beaver Creek for that Birds of Prey Men's Downhill Championship. We've got 2 days of downhill, one day a Super G. So a lot of excitement, a lot of pageantry and energy taking place up on the mountain. Over the last 48 hours over in Vail, nothing reported as far as snowfall, but they do have a 45-inch season total, 23-inch base, which is enough to get 7 of the lifts turning, 35 trails open. That's only 12% of the terrain, but still people are out there having a great time on the mountain.
Super G.
Yeah, Super
I'm
G.
into it. I can't wait to go see what it's like. You said that's your favorite event.
It is. It's fast. Fast, finesse, a lot of athleticism from these professional athletes out there. So if you've never experienced it, I encourage you to get out there and really take part, because it is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to see up front and close some of these wonderful skiers.
Well, I think that's why we all love living here, right? Is the
Yeah.
adventure, the speed, the athleticism.
Yeah.
You know, we all like being superhuman, is how I like to call it.
Yeah, a lot of these athletes should wear capes. They're pretty amazing.
Speaking of amazing, you know, you want to be prepared when you're out on the mountain, and Eyepieces of Vail provides so many wonderful goggle options. But I keep talking about I am a Smith girl, and we've got 2 pair of Smiths sitting here. What's your favorite?
I do like Smiths a lot. And again, what I really like is the history behind Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, just started down the road, 1969, I believe it was, when Dr. Smith, he was an avid outdoorist, just wanted to try to help himself perform while skiing, and came up with these first foam goggles to really help protect the eyes and get you out there. Now, everybody thought he was an optometrist. He was not an optometrist. He was
He just wanted to make things easier, better, more comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, you know, he wasn't an optometrist, but Eyepieces of Vail, actually, they also can put prescriptions into your goggle lens. Outside of that, they've just got a wide selection of all kinds of eyewear. So I'm loving these Smiths. I love the new shape of them, and Eyepieces of Vail have so many different options out there for you. So I'll be visiting. I need a new pair.
Yeah, their team of professionals will definitely fix you up with the right goggles for your head size and what you do out there on the mountain.
Absolutely. Well, we've got these Smith goggles, but we've got so much more here in the second hour. Quite the variety. Can't wait to tell you all about it. So go grab that cup of coffee, and we'll be right back after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Think Big features top kid inventors who face off against each other to see who can come up with the most innovative and creative invention. In Think Big, kids acquire and showcase their skills in creativity, science, marketing, design, and don't forget, teamwork. Check your local listings and watch the world's most innovative kids. They create and invent new toys, games, websites, and new modes of transportation. Tune in to Think Big.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back, and I told you we've got some exciting new things in this second hour of Good Morning Vail. Speaking of new, I've got the up-and-coming star and actor of the brand new series on Hulu called Black Cake. Joining me today is actor Mia Isaac. Mia, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I love your sunshiny disposition, but congratulations on your brand new series on Hulu, Black Cake. So tell me all about the series and what it entails.
So, Black Cake is a 7-episode series that airs on Hulu. It's a 7-episode series. It's about 3 sisters. One of them is a Black Cake is a series set in Jamaica in the 1960s, and it follows a young girl who, after her father gets into trouble with gambling, is sold basically into an arranged marriage. But the night of the wedding goes wrong, and she's framed for her husband's murder and is ultimately forced to flee her country and her home. And the rest of the show kind of follows her journey from Jamaica into London and Scotland and America, and we kind of see how she goes from this young girl into an adult woman and how she got from one place to another.
It sounds quite exciting. So family drama / murder mystery, and it was actually based on the best-selling novel with the same title. So, how did you bring your own personal twist to the character? And you play Covey, I believe. So tell us all about it.
Yeah, I mean, Covey is a very difficult character to play. She goes through some really, really tough experiences, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but she has to endure a lot. And as the actor, I have to endure a lot as well. And so I think, with playing Covey, it was just about really taking care of myself and reminding myself that it's not real, even though it does feel real. And you can kind of, as a viewer, I think it's important to have some kind of disclaimers or trigger warnings because it's some really tough content. So, yeah.
So you would say it's not necessarily for the younger generation to watch, but definitely quite engaging.
Necessarily. Yeah.
Well, I was doing a little bit more research on this as well, but you are you've really done quite a lot in your acting career. So how did you decide to become an actor? Tell me more about that.
I started acting when I was 10. It's just something that I've always wanted to do, and I probably would have started earlier if my parents hadn't been a little bit hesitant, just because the film industry is really tough and there's a lot of rejection and you kind of have to be resilient. But I think that acting as a kid and as a tween kind of really helped to build up my confidence. I was a really shy kid, and so it was kind of my form of like public speaking, and it made me who I am.
That's great. So speaking of the acting, as you were filming the Black Cake series, so talk to me about where you filmed. Do you have a favorite moment during filming?
We filmed in Jamaica and Wales. I moved to two different countries, and I left my family, and it was just it was a tough experience, but it was also a really, really incredible experience. Some of my favorite memories are just swimming in the ocean in Jamaica and just kind of looking around and being like, is this real? Like, do I get to do this for a living? Because not everybody can do such beautiful things and be in such beautiful places and get to say that that's their job. So I'm really grateful.
That's incredible. Well, it's very exciting stuff. So tell us, when can we watch the series and when does it drop?
So Black Cake is actually streaming now on Hulu. The first 7 episodes are out now, and the finale, the 8th and final episode of season 1, will be out next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday for the series or season finale, not the series. I hope this goes on and on for you. Very exciting stuff. Now, do you have any other projects in the works that you can tell us about?
Sorry. Right now, I'm currently in London, working on a Netflix series called The Perfect Couple, which is also based off a book. Sorry about this. I'm totally
it is all
coughing.
good. Black Cake, I'm so excited about watching what you do. You've got so many good things under your belt, and you kind of took off from the age of 16. So you just turned 18. You've got lots going on. I cannot wait to see all of the work that you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Namia, thank you so much. Black Cake, the star, you play Covey. I cannot wait to follow her journey. I'm going to catch up before, I love a good Netflix or Hulu binge, so I'm definitely catching up before the finale airs next week. But it's every Wednesday. We appreciate you coming on, and best of luck to you in your next ventures.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now stay tuned. Kevin and I have a lot more here on the second hour of Good Morning Vail. We'll be right back after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome aboard. Bobby Laurie and Nikki Noya have your ticket to everything you need for an on-the-go lifestyle. Grab your boarding pass. It's time to jet set.
Hi, I'm Ben Belgrad, and I'm the owner of Drinking Vessels here at Bat Country Studios in Minturn. And I've been in the Valley for 7 years. I moved to the Valley because a friend helped me to get my vision off the ground, building my glass studio here, and being so close to snowboarding. So here at the studio, we're acting as a broker for 50 to 100 artists from around the country. We also offer glassblowing classes, and we bring many artists from around the country here to be able to work and create art collaboratively and be so close to skiing and all the activities we have here in the Valley. Here at Drinking Vessels, we specialize in handmade glass drinkware from artists around the country and around the world. Some of these are produced as more of an item you could get in sets and kind of get different color options as time goes on. And some of these are completely one of a kind and really high-end art that's unlike anything people have seen before. While I'm an artist myself here at the studio, I'm representing between 50 and 100 other artists from around the country. And most of these artists are able to spend most of their time working on their art while we help handle their marketing and their sales and the distribution and representation, allowing them more time to focus on their art. That's really my privilege in running this business, is creating that support and providing that platform for this big group of artists that are part of a movement that's very important to me.
At Revival Boutique Med Spa, we take an integrative and holistic approach to skincare, focusing on the bigger picture when treating our clients. We use only result-driven and science-based products that contain clean, organic, wildcrafted, and research-based ingredients. From injectables, facials, to body contouring, we offer anything related to looking your best self. Find us in the Riverwalk in Edwards. For a complete list of services, visit us online at revivalvail.com. Follow us on Instagram at Revival Vail Valley. Fall in love with your skin again. There's lots to love at Revival. Mind, body, beauty.
Coming up this season on Ready, Set, Renovate, real homeowners tackle really big renos.
Welcome to the ugliest house in the neighborhood.
It's a wild ride from before to after.
If we go to the tile store one more time, only one of us is coming out alive.
Well, I didn't know he was going to do all that.
Between the budget and the timeline, it's makeover madness.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back. Kevin and I are in the TV8 Bar and Grill kitchen.
We're here.
At least according to Kevin, we are. But today, it's November 30th, which is the end of the month, which we know for Thanksgiving, but it's also Native American Heritage Month. And I grew up in Virginia, so lots of history into the founding of our country. You know, I spent a lot of time in Jamestown. I've spent time in Fredericksburg in the DC area, and it's really cool to learn all about our history and where we've come from. So today, to honor that, we are making Three Sisters soup. Now, Kevin, have you heard of Three Sisters soup?
You know, I have. I've heard of Three Sisters soup. It's one of my favorites. They're not triplets.
They're not triplets. They're all very different.
Yeah. But it goes back centuries for like the Chickasaw and the Navajo Indian tribes. Mm-hmm. And the Three Sisters, I think, really talks about, I mean, we talk about a lot about sustainability right now in everything that we do. Well, back then, centuries and centuries ago, that sustainability was very, very big in the way that the Native Americans planted their gardens and harvested, and the way they prepared their meals, which is what the Three Sisters soup is all about.
It is, and you know, it's got three main ingredients. You've got beans, you have corn, and then squash, and those three were planted closely together, similar to like growing up with three sisters. Right. And they help each other grow and harvest. And these were the three of the main staples with several of the North American tribes. So yeah, it's a really easy, great winter soup to make. And
yeah, the corn aspect, you know, the corn stalks obviously grow up, and then the beans can wind around the corn. That assists the corn in sustaining any high winds so you don't lose your crop. And then the squash obviously has big leaves and spreads out over the ground, so that helps retain the moisture and the nutrients and everything in the soil. So again, you talk about soil sustainability, that's kind of how you do it. So if you really want to learn more about the sustainability, go to nativeseeds.org, and it'll kind of talk about how you can go about doing that if you're planting your own garden at home.
And it really just shows that you can truly live off the land.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and get started. So we have the three main ingredients, plus you can use any kind of broth, or if you don't even have broth at home, you can just use water and some bouillon cubes. But I like to use bone broth as always, getting some extra protein in whatever I do.
Right.
So what we're going to go ahead and do, we've got several different ingredients. We've got corn. I did dice up some onion, which to me, onion always gives soup a little bit more depth and added layer of flavor. And then any kind of white bean, and then a squash. So we've got butter beans, corn, and zucchini squash. So just super simple, but it really doesn't matter what you use, and you can kind of mix it up. But these are the basics and the staple of what you would need for this recipe. So you can do acorn squash, or I wouldn't recommend spaghetti squash, but if you're in a pinch,
why not? Why not? Yeah, it did really, when you read about the history of it, and this soup is made around both summer and winter types of squash. And your beans and your corn are two items that also can be dried out. So they can last through the season.
It's great. So we're going to go ahead and get started. What we've done, actually, we want to soften our onion so it's a little bit easier to digest once it's in the soup. I added a little bit of olive oil to our pot here. We're going to go ahead and turn that on just so we can get our onions softened down to a little bit more translucent. Got some here, and then Kevin's working on dicing up our zucchini squash. So it's always fun to watch people cut in the kitchen. We'll see how this goes. So we're going to add that in there. I'm just saying, Kevin.
Yeah. Well.
You're the adventurous one over here. But we're going to go ahead and get that going, and then we're just letting everything kind of saute. And while Kevin dices up the zucchini, there's actually a very fun legend of the three sisters.
Oh, let's hear this.
So I don't know it in full depth, but I can tell you a bit about it. So there were three sisters who were hanging out in a field one day.
Right.
All very different, different sizes, heights, ages, all of those different things. And they were just hanging out, but they all encouraged each other and supported each other and whatnot. And so the little boy came across them in the field, and he got to know them, and they thought he was so nice. So one day, one sister disappears. The other two are so confused. They don't know where he is, where the one sister went. And then the second sister disappears. Finally, the little boy comes back to the field where these three sisters are, and he takes the third sister, and they all go back to his house. It turns out each sister thought he was so nice that they wanted to get to know his home and his environment. They stayed. They all decided they needed to cook for him, and they each contributed a different way. So that's how it also ties to the Three Sisters soup. But Kevin is nailing it.
That is just an amazing story. I'm just sitting here soaking that in.
It's just nice. It's nice to know about familial values, community, building up your tribe and supporting each other regardless of your differences. And I love that that's what we can talk about today. But we're going to go ahead and add our next ingredient. So bone broth chicken is what I like to use, but if you wanted to keep this vegetarian or vegan, obviously vegetable broth is the way to go. I'm not going to open this while I'm sitting here over the stove. Kevin, maybe you can do it because my hands are not strong enough right now.
All right. So we've got our bone broth.
Today, right?
Oh, it is a little difficult.
So
I need some pliers.
You do need some pliers.
Well, let me show you a trick in the kitchen.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Just cut a little hole in the top here. And we've got it.
Cutting the hole in the top.
It's called improvising.
So we're going to go ahead and just pour these onions into here because they've softened up a bit. And you don't want them to be caramelized or too crisp because you're just softening them so that they're delicious in the soup. Then I'm going to go ahead and pour my broth in here.
See how that works? That homemade slice on the top of your broth?
Modern
you're welcome.
technology.
And you're welcome.
You forget how to be resourceful at times. Not that we're learning all these different things. And then, honestly, this is the simplest thing. While he's chopping, I'm just going to continue to dump some more of the ingredients in. But we're going to throw our corn in here. So we've got that corn. And then we have butter beans, which I actually like to use cannellini beans, which are a little bit smaller and better bite sizes. But, this is what I had in my pantry. So I'm just going to throw that in there.
There's no rules here.
There are no rules here. You just stir it up. We make sure that it is on and nice and high. And then you can add optional salt and pepper, which you always have to add more salt than you think you do. My personal opinion. I would just add a little bit more salt. And then we have two other optional spices to add into it. I always say, you don't want it too strong of a flavor, but you can do about 1/4 of a teaspoon of thyme or cumin. It just adds a little bit more of a hearty depth to the flavor.
Do we have time for cumin?
You know, we don't have to do the cumin. But if you don't like cumin, a lot of people don't actually like the flavor of cumin. But I do. I think it tastes delicious.
We're making it to suit you right now.
I love all of the spices. In my pantry at home, I've got pretty much every spice you can imagine.
Okay.
So I just grabbed these two out of here. And then we're going to go ahead and add in the zucchini as well once Kevin uses the knife again.
Yeah.
And you just add it in and you let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes and till the vegetables are softened. You know, you don't want to be biting into a hard piece of zucchini. But if you want
it a little al dente. You don't want it
a
soft.
little.
Soft.
I agree. I cannot stand zucchini that's too soft in a soup, especially, you know, if you are going to like a restaurant and you're getting a minestrone, it's just not great. But I love the Three Sisters soup because it's an easy, healthful winter staple. If you wanted to thicken up the broth, you could with a little arrowroot flour and some water and just make a paste. Mix that in there. You can use traditional flour if you wanted to as well. And then
arrowroot probably if you don't like the flour component.
Exactly.
But it's one of those, I think it's one of those recipes that you can kind of curb to your liking. If you wanted to add a little cabbage, if you wanted to put a little cheese in it, there's, again, no rules.
No rules.
Kind of suit your taste, but this is kind of the foundation of what the Three Sisters is all about.
You just have to have the three staples. So any kind of squash, any kind of bean, and any kind of corn. And that's it.
Pretty simple.
It is really simple.
Yeah. And I bet it freezes well too.
It definitely does. We're going to let this simmer. And I know for me on a busy weeknight, especially because we do the show and then we're out on the mountain, you want something warm. You can make it hearty if you threw in some potatoes or really whatever you want to do. But this is your base of the Three Sisters soup.
Love it.
Love it. Well, happy Native American Heritage Month. We are honored to be able to talk about it here on the show. And I always love cooking with you in the kitchen, Kevin.
Yeah, and if you want to learn more about the sustainability and kind of some of that cooking with the different kind of seeds and the pairing up, go to that nativeseeds.org and it'll give you a little more information on how to do that.
In the meantime, we've got a few more things in store for this last day of November on Good Morning Vail. We'll be right back after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Nap Harvest, your local marketplace for fresh, locally produced products. Our indoor farmers market is open 7 days a week, featuring locally grown organic produce, prepared meals, honey from our Nap Nectar hive, furniture, cutting boards, and much more. We source and sell locally grown and produced products from the Vail and Roaring Fork Valleys. Visit us at our new location in Eagle Ranch, 717 Sylvan Lake Road, next door to Color Coffee Roasters.
Familia, estamos muy emocionados de por fin presentarles nuestro nuevo programa completamente en español, Conexión Latina, que se estrena este lunes 21 de agosto a partir de las 7 de la tarde. Por el momento, el programa se transmitirá los lunes, miércoles y viernes de 7 a 7 y media de la tarde, con una repetición de 7 y media a 8, así que no hay excusas para perdértelo. Te recuerdo que puedes sintonizar nuestra programación a través del canal 92 de Comcast, nuestra página web tva.com y nuestra página de Facebook TVA Conexión Latina. Acompáñanos en esta nueva aventura llena de información y entretenimiento local. No te lo pierdas.
Pascal. And I'm Andrea Jackson. Welcome to Life, Love, Shopping. Have any personal stories you can share?
Do I? Yes, I do.
So even though you work with some good deals, too good to miss on flash deals. Now check this out.
Studies show spending time outdoors can help with depression, lowering blood pressure, and overall health and happiness.
Show. We are feeling good today. Great show on.
Absolutely. Welcome to our show. I'm Suki.
I'm Scott.
And we are feeling good today. You know why? Because we had a great show.
When you're in Vail, you're in vacation mode, and you need a flexible home tour experience that fits into your schedule. We've transformed how you view and buy homes in the Vail Valley. With immersive, cutting-edge technology, you can explore properties 10 times faster. In our lounge, we guide you through this digital world on a 16-foot screen where you can imagine your next home in comparison to your favorite recreational spots. Say goodbye to multi-day home tours and hello to a quick stop between your other plans. That's the power of the Immersion Theater.
Good morning, Vail.
It's Thursday, and it wouldn't be a Thursday without a sports update from Robbie. He talks all things basketball, so we're ballin', and then CU football game, the last game of the season that they had against the Utah Utes. Let's take a look.
All right, thanks for joining us. So the high school hoop season is in full swing over here in the Valley, and Vail Christian boys basketball, they got a new head coach at the helm, but there's something else the boys are talking about in practice.
Vail Christian boys basketball is eyeing a new season that brings a lot of change. However, senior point guard Will Newman says the shift is working in the Saints' favor.
We lost our coach who's been here for 23 years. Majority of our seniors who scored all of our points. So I think people are going to underestimate us a lot and puts a fire under our belly.
Newman's father, Andrew, is now at the helm of the Saints program after 2 years with the team as an assistant coach. But all the talk around the team revolves around the new freshman.
During our tryouts, we actually ranked everyone, like, say we ran a suicide, you got 9 seconds, or like 25 seconds. That's the first place time. You get 1 point, and the goal is to get the least amount of points throughout the whole tryouts. And out of the top 5 people, we had 3 freshmen. So we're really excited because we have a lot of really young players that are coming in really strong, and we're excited for it.
For Newman and the Saints, there's a lot to look forward to this season, but the rivalry game with Vail Mountain School is on the minds of everyone.
All of those guys I grew up from 6th grade to now, I've been playing against them. So just so excited to play against them, last year coming out.
Vail Christian boys basketball plays their first game of the season against Lake County December 1st.
After chatting with Will Newman, you already know we had to turn around and talk to his dad, who is now the leader of the Saints boys basketball program. Here's our conversation with head coach Andrew Newman. So we're with the new head coach of Vail Christian basketball, Andrew Newman. And Coach, you got a new season in front of you. What's kind of the expectation there?
Well, it's really hard to say right now. We're a very green, very young team, but we're super excited. A lot of great kids, a lot of work ethic going on, a lot of effort going in, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, and I was telling you this earlier when we were chatting just a minute ago, but you guys may be a newer team, but it seems like the chemistry is already there. Do you feel like you guys already kind of have that camaraderie on the team?
Yeah, for sure. A couple of the seniors in particular are doing a great job leading us, so they're building that chemistry from the top down, and then the younger guys in each of those classes, there's a couple kids that are really leading their classes, so I'm really happy to see this early in the season, this kind of chemistry.
Okay, in what ways will those seniors come together? You mentioned you have 3, Jack Pryor, Will Newman. How do you think those guys are going to kind of come together and lead this team this season?
Well, they're going to have to really put in a lot of effort on the court, probably getting a lot of minutes out there. Hopefully everybody stays healthy, but it's more their leadership off the court that matters. They're doing a great job really leading these guys and building that chemistry, especially encouraging the younger guys. When you're new to high school basketball or it's your first time on varsity, there's a lot you got to learn. There's a huge learning curve, and those guys are doing a great job encouraging the younger players.
And you may be new to the head coaching role, taking over the helm of this Vail Christian program, but you're not new to the team by any standard. You've been here 2 years, got the torch passed over you from Coach Coons. What was that moment like to be kind of handed the role of this program that's been successful in his 23 years here, to be that guy that he wanted to take over the helm?
Yeah, that was a huge honor. Really grateful for everything that he's done for this school and for this program. I mean, like you said, 23 years, he's built a winning culture, a winning program, a great chemistry. We're going to be keeping a lot of things that he did and just try to build on the great foundation he's already created.
Okay, and you mentioned, not a lot's going to change. That winning culture is hopefully going to stick around too with you at the helm, but what things may change under your leadership?
We're going to keep trying to maintain a pretty high tempo. This valley is a valley that has a lot of great athletes. We've got a lot of great athletes on this team, so can work really hard to keep pushing the tempo and really working to have a high character team that in everything we do, we're trying to reflect the values of this school.
Okay, and you mentioned you got a scrimmage with Battle Mountain coming up. Obviously, that's an exhibition game against, another Valley team, so you probably want to do pretty well in that matchup, but what kind of makes that a good game from y'all, how you show up against Battle Mountain?
Well, it's going to be interesting because we're only going to have about 6 practices with this green group of guys before we hit that scrimmage. So we're still learning each other's names, let alone all the offenses, defenses. So a lot of it's just going to be going out there and playing good basketball. It is fun, though, to be playing inter-valley teams. A lot of these guys play together in the off-season, so they all know each other. And so what's really fun is those friendships, knowing the coaches, knowing the guys, the friendships off the court, and then you get on the court, all of a sudden, game's on. It's competition. And even though in a scrimmage, you're not supposed to keep score, I can promise you, every one of our guys, they're going to know the score in their own heads. So we'll have a good time.
And speaking about playing, inter-valley teams, you guys play Vail Mountain School twice a year. That's the big rivalry in this valley for y'all. What's it going to be like, you think, just getting on the court as the head coach of this team and playing them this year for your first time at the helm?
Yeah, this year we're going to be playing them at their gym. Their gym is always packed. It's a tight gym. It'll be a full house, I'm sure. And like you said, it's an in-valley competition, so this should be a really good time. It's going to be a tough game. They always play a tough game. They're a very well-coached team. They're very strategic in the way they play the game, so it's going to be a really tough game for sure.
How have you kind of grown to appreciate this rivalry between Vail Christian and Vail Mountain School in your 2 years prior to taking over this team?
Well, it's always one of the games we have circled on our calendar, and I'm sure they do as well. It's just a good time. I mean, off the court, you want to be able to say you won that game this year, So they'll have a great program. They always have a great program. Hopefully we'll be strong as well, and it should be a really tight game.
Okay, and you mentioned Plateau Valley this season as being a big contender. Obviously, you may have a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth after last season. But what are you looking to get out of that matchup this year with them?
Well, we're going to learn a lot where we stand. They're third game of the season, so we have the home opener, and then we've got them on the 5th of December. And as you mentioned, they beat us twice in a row last year, 2 out of 3 games in a row. So that'll be a really tough team. They've got most of their starting lineup returning from that state team that went to state last year. And it'll be a really good way for us to find out, where we stand compared to the rest of the conference and where we stand even in terms of being a potential state contender.
Mm-hmm. And this may be the hardest question I ask you all day, but if you could just narrow it down, what do you think you're looking forward to the most in this new season?
Wow. I just honestly enjoy being on the court with these guys. I mean, it's an awesome group of guys. I've mentioned I grew up in a gym basically with my dad being a coach, and so the chance just to be in the gym with a great group of guys, obviously the competition, doing a little bit of mentoring along the way, and I hope we get a couple wins as well. That'd be great.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. Anything you want to add?
No, just grateful for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, CU football took on Utah for rivalry weekend in their final game of the regular season here in 2023. We got those highlights for you right now.
Staub takes the snap. He gets hit and drops the football. It's scooped up by Van Fillinger of the Utes, and they will take over. Colorado not off to a good start. Utes with the ball. Jalen Glover takes the handoff and is off to the races. He'll make some men miss, and he carries the rock all the way down to around the 10-yard line of Colorado. A great run by Glover to set the Utes up in scoring position. Utes now 3rd and goal. Luke Batari takes the snap and is looking for the open man towards the right. No one's available, so he'll keep this one himself and punch it in for 6. This is his first start at quarterback, and he's not looking bad at all. Utes will go up on Colorado 7-0. CU will get the ball back on offense, and they're not able to get a successful drive going, so the Utes will eventually get a field goal up to drop in. Utah now kicking off to Colorado, and Jimmy Horn Jr. will take it out of the end zone for the Buffs. Horn breaks through tackles and weaves through the defense on a successful carry, but he wants more and will take the return all the way to the 40-yard line. So a good run there from Jimmy Horn Jr. CU is going to dig into their bag of tricks on this next play, which is fun to watch. They find Dylan Edwards in the end zone for 6 to get the Buffs on the board. Utah was not ready at all for that throw from Jimmy Horn Jr. A great wide receiver to wide receiver touchdown, which you don't see too often in today's game. Utah lined up to kick a field goal, and they'll knock it through the uprights, and CU will attempt to match with a 47-yarder from Alejandro Mata. Mata, who's been great all season, knocks it through. Utah now lined up 2nd and goal. Batari keeps it and gets the yardage needed to grab another 6 points for the Utes. This is their 2nd rushing score of the day, and they'll jump out to a 20-10 lead on the Buffs. CU isn't done yet, though. Travis Hunter is open over the middle. He'll make the grab and get in the end zone for another Buff 6 points. Colorado will make the PAT to make this game a 1-score affair, but will not be able to seal the deal against Utah, who beats the Buffs 23-17.
With CU and Air Force falling out of the AP Top 25 and CU not even amounting 6 wins on the season, we're going to put that season to rest for football and pick up the basketball season instead. So here's a look at your AP Top 25 poll.
CU for a while held a spot on this poll, but have since fallen out as they picked up a loss on the road in overtime to Florida State. It is early in the year, however, so this is the time when you want to get your losses out of the way before conference play begins and the grind really hits that stride. I do want to point out, though, that we have some representation from the Centennial State in the poll as Colorado State sits at the number 20 spot. So Rams looking pretty good there, and they're undefeated on the season and are firing on all cylinders, and that's what you like to see. Now, looking over at CU women's basketball, and they've had a good season thus far. They're coming off a loss to now number 5 in the country, NC State, but they also picked up a good win over Boston University most recently. They now sit at number 7 in the country, tied up at that spot with LSU, who they beat earlier in the year. And that was actually the first game of the season for both schools. The Buffs women's basketball team takes on Air Force next in Colorado Springs.
So it looks like the college basketball season is off to a hot start here in the Centennial State, which is great considering how the football season just ended. Make sure to continue coming back to us for all the latest sports coverage here in the Valley and beyond. We'll catch you next time.
For fun and adventure, join me on Elizabeth Stanton's Great Big World. Find out where I'll be going next and which celebrities I'll be bringing along with me. I'll show you amazing destinations with lots to explore, and you'll get to know my celebrity guests the way they really are, up close and personal. We'll travel the world, experience new cultures, and together, try to make a difference. I'm Elizabeth Stanton, saying the world's a big place, and I'm going to show it to you.
Lion's Head Jewelers Fossil and Mineral Gallery. Located in the heart of Lion's Head Village for over a decade, our 4,000 square foot gallery boasts a one-of-a-kind experience that cannot be found anywhere else in Vail. We carry the most exquisite array of fine jewelry, high-end minerals, and museum-quality fossils. We invite you to come in and explore all the history and beauty that nature has to offer.
Eyepieces of Vail has been a fixture in the Vail community for over 30 years. From designer frames and sunglasses to high-performance sports frames, prescription goggles, and in-demand accessories like helmets, goggle lenses, and foldable reading glasses, our inventory raises the optical bar. Visit one of our 7 locations today and see why generations of loyal customers return time after time for our unmatched service and inventory. Eyepieces, the art of vision.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. I'm here with 2, I call them icons of the Valley. They've been here for a while, Joe Henley and Bob Masters. You probably know them. If you don't, you need to get out a little more because they're out in the community entertaining everybody all over the place. So we'll start over with Joe. Joe, how long have you been in the Valley?
I've been back since 2012, but I lived here from 98 to 03.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Bob, how about you?
It's been about 20 years now, 21 I think. 2002 I think was the first winter.
And how'd you two meet?
We met playing music.
Yeah.
I was saying Main Street Grill open mic. Bob, I think, had just moved here. He and I and a couple other guys that play in the Valley were just hooked up playing at Main Street. Yeah, so that's going back a few years.
Nice, nice. Now you've got an event coming up in Eagle on December 2nd at 2nd Street.
That's right.
After the holiday parade.
Yeah.
What's that about?
It's 8 to 10 p.m. It's basically just an after party for Christmas on Broadway.
Yeah.
And we're going to be jamming a duo. You know, we might have some guest musicians sitting in.
You never know. You never know who comes up on stage.
Yeah, I have a feeling we will. So.
And then, Bob, how about you? Where do you play throughout the Valley other than this event coming up on the 2nd?
Play regularly at the West End on Tuesdays and Fridays this winter, and and a bunch of random stuff throughout so far.
And how about you, Joe?
I've been playing. I was the regular Sunday guy at I'm Prosit for the last couple of years. So I play there. I play Grand Ave Grill. I play Moe's. I play. I'm 2nd Street. It's my first time playing at 2nd Street.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of the events, you know, the art walks. I've played a lot of the art walks over the years. Pretty much any places that have had like solo acoustic type stuff I've played at one time or another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Bob, you say you call home Florida. What got you into playing guitar and entertaining?
I don't know. Just brother had a guitar at one point, and I borrowed it for a second, and then just kind of kept up with it for
kind of got the bug, huh?
About 14 years old, and kept with it.
Wow, nice. How about you, Joe? You're an East Coaster.
Yeah, kind of the same thing. My oldest brother used to play guitar, and he stopped for a while, and I used to play a little bit of drums, and I used to tell him, hey, you should start playing guitar again. And he went out and he bought a guitar and he started playing again. But I would always end up picking up the guitar and figuring stuff out on it.
Right.
And he ended up buying me a guitar, and that's kind of how I got into it. I guess I was about 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, so similar.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Well, now that you're both staples here in the Valley, entertaining not just the locals, but all those visitors that come in, give them that experience of the mountains.
Yeah.
Why don't you cue up and give us a little bit of a taste of what to expect?
Sure. This is an original song.
Okay.
It's called Wandering. This goes out to Bill. If anybody from Jersey's watching, it's for the late, great Bill Joya. 1, 2, 3, 4. Time even though I thought I gave more than you could give, more than I ever could. Wrecking tables and throwing chairs, we didn't know it was real. Trying to hide what we couldn't show, we didn't know that we were wondering. We didn't know that we were wondering. It's more than time that you lost. All the miles we could not cross to make you see. It's more than time that you lost. And all the miles we could not cross to make you see.
Awesome. That was Wandering, a song for Bill.
Yeah.
Song for Bill. So that was a little preview, a little sneak preview of what's going to go on at 2nd Street on December 2nd following that holiday parade over in Eagle. So get out there, enjoy it. These two gentlemen will be entertaining that evening. So if you can make it, great. If not, go catch them somewhere else throughout the valley. They'll be out there all season long.
And I'll have dates on joehanleymusic.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how about you? When you have a website, or you just you're at the Westin? Come see you at the Westin.
Yeah, come check out the Facebooks and that sort of thing.
Awesome.
Instagram.
Perfect. All right, all the social media. Awesome. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Again, December 2nd, over there in Eagle after the parade at 2nd Street. We'll be back soon with more Good Morning Vail.
Good morning, Vail.
Snooki and Scott show. We are feeling good today. Great show on the way.
Absolutely. Welcome to our show. I'm Suki.
I'm Scott.
And we are feeling good today. You know why? Because we had a great show.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! Our independent news hour offers diverse perspectives and unique opinions, often unheard in the mainstream media, live as the news unfolds. Tune in for Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report, weekday mornings at 9 and evenings at 6 on TV8 Vail, Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on Channel 92.
TV8 is serving the community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, delivering content in all sorts of mediums. Take us with you on the go, as Good Morning Vail and Good Day Vail are now available as podcasts. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, and Pandora. And don't forget, you can always find TV8 on YouTube, TV8vail.com, and all of our social media platforms. Just another reason why there's more for you on 92. Join us in exploring the everyday lives of community members here in the Vail Valley. Hear their inspiring stories of how they came here, their contributions to our community, and why they chose to call this place home. We want you to be one of our neighbors. If you would like to be featured or nominate someone to be featured, please send an email to danielle@tv8vail.com. We look forward to featuring your story right here on TV8.
Do you love the outdoor lifestyle? Make sure you tune in every day at 8 p.m. to catch Scoreboard Nation. It's an outdoor lifestyle show dedicated to your 3 favorite mountain towns, Vail Beaver Creek, Park City, and Reno Tahoe. Join us for an incredible venture. Find us on TV8 Vail, Park City Television, or at thescoreboardnation.com. We can't wait to see you there.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. That was an awesome little music segment that we did there, so get out there. 2nd Street over in Eagle after the parade on December 2nd from 6 to 8. So get out there and enjoy some of those musical talents between Joe and Bob. Looking at the weather, we've got 20 degrees getting up today at 8 a.m., a high today of 38 degrees. So, mild temperatures out there, but that's perfect time to prime us for hopefully a storm that's coming our way this weekend. Vail by the hour shows 37 at noon and starting to cool off a little bit at that 4 o'clock time frame. That's when we're expecting some of those clouds to begin to roll in and see some of those snow flurries begin to start, hopefully tomorrow morning, waking up to a nice blanket of fresh snow. Across the I-70 corridor, 42 degrees and cloudy in Denver, 38 and cloudy in Vail, 39 in Avon, and 39 in Eagle. So again, some of that precipitation is moving in the form of snowfall tonight. Low 19 degrees, snow 60% chance, sun setting at 4:42 p.m. And that's kind of when we're expecting some of those snow showers to begin. As we look at the 5-day, again, very exciting to see Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, some snowfall taking place. And again, those mild temperatures moving in, and then beginning next week, Monday, kind of those clouds starting to dissipate a little bit, 42 degrees and then 44 on Tuesday with some full sunshine. Perfect time to get out there and enjoy some of that new snowfall that's going to come over the weekend. As we look at the Beaver Creek Snow Report, getting ready for that birds of prey that's going to be taking place. Nothing really reported in the last 48 hours, a season total of 36 inches, that base of 21 inches. So enough to get out there and enjoy some of the runs that they've got open. 6 lifts are spinning. 10 trails are open and only 4% of the terrain. So, not a lot over there in Beaver Creek. Kind of the same thing in Vail. We've got, only maybe 12% of the terrain open over in Vail, but still going to get out there and have some fun.
Is better than no percent.
That's right. That's right. And with what's coming this weekend, we're going to open up more.
I'm very much a glass half full kind of chick. So,
well, this glass is half full.
But check this out. It is.
Ooh.
Steam coming out there. You can
that
smell
smells
all
great.
Of the flavors. It smells very earthy. We put a little bit in a mug. Kevin's gonna go ahead and try it. It's very hot. Very. Do you feel very earthy and healthy?
I do.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. Nice, hearty, warm you up. So.
It's great. Well, we had a great day today. Shop with the Cop. Go check it out. Plus Black Cake on Hulu.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Are you looking for exciting and nutritious recipes to